my name is Noah Brown. One night, on top of a mountain in a forest ranger's outpost, there was a man. His job was to count every single lightning strike that he saw. The reason he did this is because he loved his forest and the outdoors. Now, this man was my grandfather, and his name was Gus Wahlgren. He received his PhD in forestry, and he inspires me to become the best version of myself despite criticism from others. My grandfather's success was not easy, and many obstacles stood in his way, including migrant parents with little money, the Korean conflict, and scarce funds for a much-needed education. Now, before he could start off in life to achieve his goals, he needed to be born and grow up first. He was born March 7, 1929 in Chicago, Illinois. He wasn't an accident, but he was a surprise given that he was born in his house, not in a hospital which they originally planned. Despite him being born in the house, he still weighed a healthy 10 pounds, and his family loved him. Now, given that his family loved him, he still was the second of two, second to his older sister, who never failed to give him a hard time or try to blame him for anything. Now, my great-grandmother, his mother, worked two jobs because my great-grandfather, his father, was sick a lot. Now, she worked two jobs, one of the jobs being a AT&T phone call connector, where she would ride around on roller skates and connect phone calls using the large vacuum hoses. That was definitely interesting, but I don't think I would want to do it. It really does show the time period that they lived in, though. Now, even though my grandpa didn't have the most fruitful beginnings, he managed to still get an education. He didn't pursue his childhood dream of being an iceman carrying blocks of ice into the homes and setting them in ice boxes, which is what my mom told me he really wanted to be as a child. But he did receive a free ride to the University of Montana, but being that it was his first time really away from home, he turned it down and decided to pay his way through college and enlist in the ROTC so he could go to the University of Iowa. Now, after he graduated from the University of Iowa, he enlisted as an officer in the military because he did join the ROTC. But after that, he became a wood scientist working for the Forest Products Laboratory, which was a USDA agency. While he was doing that, he enrolled in Duke University, where he acquired his master's and PhD in wildlife sciences and forestry. Some of his jobs included developing new ways to use wood products in third world countries as heating sources. He also developed a fire retardant chemical that was applied to houses today. And on top of that, he used to be a forest ranger that would count lightning strikes during a drought to pay for his young adulthood. He probably had to look out more than bears and lightning strikes, though. And I got all this information from the Baker E.G. USDA report, as well as the UIP article published in 1981. And like I said, school was necessary, and an easy way for my grandfather to pay for that was the military. Now, when he graduated from the University of Iowa, he immediately became an officer, commissioned as an officer in the United States Army. He was then immediately deployed to the Korean conflict as a topographer. Now, he made it seem like his job was a little bit cooler than a topographer, but he never liked to delve too deeply in it. His main reason for joining was for college, but seeing the opportunities that the military had to offer, he rode the ladder up being a colonel in the Army. Then after that, he entered the reserves so he could keep his toe in the military still, and then ended being a colonel in the Army at Fort Meade, being the commander of that base. But all that work wasn't for nothing. He definitely worked hard so he could retire and live a comfortable lifestyle. He spends most of his time now golfing with his retired friends and me, his grandson, on the hundreds of courses that Arizona has to offer. And then he also volunteers his time being a navigator at the Phoenix International Airport, helping people find their way. Now, he used to hunt a lot, but back in the day, he managed to hurt himself so extremely that he broke his neck and shattered his wrist in the middle of a hunting trip and had to be airlifted out of Montana. So, needless to say, he no longer hunts anymore. Instead of hunting, he likes to spend his time with his wife, and he tours the world on river cruises, visiting all the countries in Europe. But my grandpa has achieved a lot in his lifetime, and I'm hoping that you were able to enjoy and learn something about his life. He's now 87, and his favorite saying currently is, "I'm so old, I'm not even on the actuary tables anymore." For someone who went through all that, he really did work really hard, and I admire all of that he did to achieve his goals, even if it was a PhD in forestry. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.